7 News at 5 starts right now.
As property values rise, it can be a burden on homeowners and business owners to keep up with the costs.
In this crazy Colorado housing market, lawmakers are hoping to cut rates for homeowners.
But not everyone's on board with where the money will be coming from.
$200 million of that is actually what taxpayers were already slated to get back in 2023.
Plus, a driver speeds past homes and crashes straight into one.
And officers struggle to keep up and chase down street racers in Aurora.
They're doing these donuts and these burnouts, and they're putting people's lives in danger.
Well, good evening. Thanks so much for joining us for Denver 7 News at 5. I'm Shannon Ogden.
Good evening. I'm Ann Trujillo. It is no secret living in Colorado is getting more expensive by the day.
Home values skyrocketing. Property taxes are as well. And that's why lawmakers are now pushing for some temporary tax relief. Denver 7's politics reporter Megan Lopez is in the studio tonight.
And Megan, they are talking about tax cuts that would help both homeowners and business owners.
Right, and this comes kind of on the heels of what we saw were several different ballot initiatives that have been proposed and are making their way through that ballot kind of process. So there have been a few that have been proposed that would do things like cap property tax inflation rates, for instance. The governor says that this bill, though, will offer relief sooner than those ballot initiatives ever could, and it won't impact schools as much as those measures, but not everyone's happy about how all of this went down.
It doesn't matter if you live in the heart of Denver or the mountains of Vail or the plains of Sterling. Housing has become increasingly unaffordable for families. As home values skyrocket, so do assessment rates and therefore property taxes. So on Sunday,
very often incomes don't keep up with the assessment increase in your home. And that's why we're acting to reduce property taxes.
Governor Jared Polis and a group of Democratic lawmakers gave Denver 7 a sneak peek at a bill they will introduce this week to offer a temporary cut to property taxes.
We're announcing a package that will reduce property taxes by an average of about $250 per homeowner.
Here's how the bill will work. Homeowners will see a one-time drop in their assessment rates from 6.95% to 6.77%. For a $500,000 home, that will result in about $274 in savings in 2023 and a bit less in 2024. Commercial properties, meanwhile, will see their assessment rates dip from 29% to 27.9%.
This represents the first non-residential assessment drop in Colorado in more than 40 years.
The bill will also reduce the taxable value on non-residential properties by $30,000, and for residential properties, it will go down by $10,000. In all, they say it will offer $700 million in property tax relief, but some
is disingenuous because it's really a $500 million relief package.
Aren't happy with the idea. Representative Colin Larson has been working for months to get a question on the November ballot to cap property tax increases. He says this bill is in direct response to his work and that it won't offer as much financial relief as some people think.
It looks like, upon further reading, $200 million of that is actually just repurposed Tabor refund from what taxpayers were already slated to get back in 2023.
So he wants changes to it, or he might keep pushing his ballot question forward. Other groups are planning on polling their ballot proposals in the wake of this bill, and it does have some Republican support, like Senator Bob Rankin.
They depend on property taxes in their budgets.
Now lawmakers have less than 2 weeks to hammer out the final details of this deal and get it to the governor.
So if we're cutting property taxes, you might ask, how is this not going to hurt schools? Lawmakers say that they will use that surplus or some of it to help fill some of the funding gaps left by the property tax reduction. However, some progressive groups are also criticizing this bill, saying that it would, quote, give some of the richest and most powerful special interests fiscally irresponsible, inequitable property tax cuts. So again, Shannon, not everyone's happy with this.
Of course not. It's going to be a lively home stretch of this legislative session. All right, Megan, thanks for all your work this session and again tonight. So Colorado has some of the lowest property taxes in the whole U.S. And going deeper for you tonight, the annual property taxes on a theoretical $220,000 home in Colorado is about $1,100. A Rocket Mortgage puts our average state property tax rate at about 0.51%, third lowest in the U.S. Now, Hawaii has the lowest property tax rate, 0.28%. New Jersey, the highest, with an average of 2.49%.
And this property tax relief is the latest tax relief announcement being pushed by the governor. Just last week, he announced 3.1 million Coloradans will receive a tax rebate check if you file your taxes by May 31st. It would be $400 for single filers, $800 for joint filers. Republicans called the governor's announcement convenient timing for the November election.
Louisville police have arrested 30-year-old Orlando Anglada for felony distribution after a woman was poisoned with fentanyl-laced drugs. Police say they revived the 23-year-old last month with Narcan. The dealer was identified, they say, as Anglada. He also has warrants for his arrest in Denver, Jefferson, and Boulder counties.
People in Thornton went for a very rude awakening this morning when a driver sped past homes and crashed into someone's living room. A viewer sent us this video where you can see the car race by before it goes off screen and then crashes into that home on Russell Way. Amazingly,
nobody was hurt, and police are investigating to see whether the driver perhaps was intoxicated. Aurora police have been on the lookout for street racers. The department launched a dedicated group of officers to look for illegal racers at night. Most of the drivers were able to speed away from police. Denver 7's Colette Bordelon live in the newsroom. And Colette, Aurora PD says this is just the first of many patrols that'll be out now on the weekends.
That's what the future is going to look like. Sundays are typically when Aurora police see the most street racing gatherings, and they want to break up more of those. Officers shared these pictures with us from last night. Now, in one, you can see all of those cars near a warehouse. That's off of Airport near Smith Road. And then in the second photograph, you can really see how this street racing affects a tire, just absolutely shredded in the bed of a truck. But it did slow down that driver enough for officers to issue a summons for reckless driving. The driver claimed he ran over nails. Aurora police also towed another driver last night after they went to 4 known street racing locations around the city where many of the drivers were able to outrun police. The department says they've gotten lots of complaints about the racing, and they want the community to know they're taking it seriously.
The dangers come with all of the unknowns, right? All of this reckless driving through parking lots, on the streets, right? They're doing these donuts and these burnouts, and they're putting people's lives in danger.
That was Agent Longshore, who also says the racing is damaging property like the pavement and stripes and parking lots that other people have to pay for. In some instances, the cost of fixing things like that comes from businesses trying to protect their property.
These people just don't get it, right? They just want to be out there for the fun. They want to go out there to show off their trucks and their cars. But I mean, they're causing damage and they're wreaking havoc on our community, and we're tired of it.
An ordinance recently passed in Aurora allows police to go after cars involved in the racing if they can get that vehicle information. If you're trying to report street racing in Aurora, call the number there on your screen, 303-627-3100. You can also report that online at reportstreetracing.com. Now, Shannon, the community says that they have been getting so many complaints about this. That's why police really want to crack down.
Yeah, what a problem this has become. All right, Colette Bordelon tonight. Thank you very much. And looking deeper on this for you tonight, DPD also cracking down on illegal racing. Denver police made nearly 60 arrests for street racing last year. All those cars impounded, and 21 drivers never get their cars back. So anybody caught street racing by Denver police looking at 12 points on their license and could have their car impounded for 12 months or indefinitely.
I'm excited for that whole opportunity to apply for jobs.
A job seeker's paradise.
Good news, college grads. Now may be a very good time to kickstart your career and find that dream job.
It's just like the right combination that's really benefiting this particular graduating class.
Clearing skies and chilly tonight with warmer days on the way. I'll have your full forecast coming up.
And banning the plastic. One Colorado town says bye to flimsy plastic bags.
And when you consider how many people shop every day and weekly and monthly, it definitely adds up.